Hey guys, Ben here with Sportsman's Outdoor Superstore, and today we have a special video for you. We're going to start a little mini series here on the channel. It's going to be all about cleaning and maintaining your firearm. So today we're going to start off with the Striker Fire style pistol, and we're going to dive into all of the things that you need to clean and maintain your firearm. Okay guys, so first off, before we get started cleaning anything, we're going to talk about the equipment that you actually need to clean and maintain your firearm. So if this is your first firearm and you only have one, I would suggest to go more towards the caliber specific pistol cleaning kit. Like in this case, we have a 9mm, so we're going to go with this Hoppe's 9mm 38, 380, or 357 kit. It will clean all four of those calibers. So you have a cleaning rod, a jag, you have a slotted patch end, you have a synthetic brush, you have 50 patches, you have a bottle of the Hops No. 9 traditional solvent, and you have a bottle of the traditional lubricating oil. So this is a great kit if you only have one firearm, or if you have one of each of those calibers, you can clean all four with this kit. And we have several different kits that will cover most calibers. So also, I would suggest maybe getting a couple rags. So Hoppe's, they have a gun cloth, a standard gun cloth, and then they have a silicone cloth which has oil impregnated. Also, some other things that I would suggest, I don't clean a firearm without rubber gloves, especially after a long day at the range. You don't want any of that residue from the gunpowder and carbon and everything. It will dilute with the solvent, and you don't want that getting into your skin, so you want to make sure you have some rubber gloves. Some extra tools, maybe a couple Q-tips, and you just might want to get a brush, like a phenolic synthetic brush. And just an extra thing that I have that I like to use when I'm oiling a firearm, I just have this needle oiler. And you can pick these up on Amazon, they're really cheap. All right, so that covers basically all the stuff that you need. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the mat. So this isn't necessary, but I like to clean on a mat because this has a backing on here. So no matter what you put on this mat, it's not gonna seep through and hit your table. You could ruin a table if you don't have something like this, but if you're on a workshop bench and you're not worried about it, you don't need it. But I would suggest having one of these because they make it nice, they make cleanup nice. So now that we've covered everything that we need, we're just going to start and get into field stripping this firearm and cleaning it. And we're just going to show you step by step how to do that. Okay, so now that we've covered all the stuff that you need, we're going to go ahead and field strip this pistol, and we're going to get into cleaning. So first, I'm going to put on our gloves. All right, so first, obviously, we have a cleared firearm here, so we need to make sure there's no magazine in and there's no round in the chamber. And before you clean any firearm, we want to stress that you always want to make sure that there's no ammunition anywhere close. You just want to put your ammo way off in another room. You don't even want it close to the firearm when you're cleaning. So now that we've got that out of the way, we're just going to field strip this firearm. And as far as field stripping goes, not everybody has a Glock. So we're gonna refer to your owner's manual on field stripping your firearm. They have detailed instructions in the manual. So take a look at that and make sure you know how to field strip the firearm. And once you get to that point, you have all of your basic parts here that you can clean. So first off, I normally start with the barrel. So we're going to take the barrel away from all the parts. We're going to grab our solvent and open that up. And then we're going to take our bore brush and we're going to dip that in the solvent. Kind of knock off the excess there, and then we're just going to run it through the barrel. It's pretty simple, nothing crazy. We're just going to run that through a couple times. Try to knock off the big heavy residue there on inside the barrel. Then we're going to remove the bore brush and I'm going to use a jag. You can also use a slotted in deal to push a patch through, but I'm going to put this jag on here. Then we're going to take a patch. I just want to do one patch at a time on this because there's really low tolerance on driving this through the barrel. So you just want to put your patch on the top there and start it off in your barrel. And you're going to have to put some force behind it, but you just want to push that patch through. And as you can see here, you got a good bit of dirt on there. So carbon residue, whatever you want to call it. So now we've done the basics of cleaning your barrel. You just want to look down it and make sure there's no residue caught up in there and the barrel looks good. So moving into the slide, we want to just inspect it, take a look inside. If there's a bunch of carbon in here, we want to clean that up. So that's where the brush comes in handy. I'm just going to get this synthetic style brush, and you don't really need to put any solvent on there. You can if it's really bad, but you know, that's where a Q-tip comes in handy too. You're going to dip that into the solvent and knock off the excess there so you don't have a ton. And you can just kind of like dab that in the slide, you know, a couple places, and hit it up here on the top of the slide, and then your slide rails there. And then you take your brush and you just want to lightly brush that. So you're cleaning all the carbon off. You get inside of here, you want to clean the rails out and everything. And then once you have that cleaned out, set that off to the side, and then we'll look at the frame. So we're going to inspect the frame, make sure everything's good. And if you have carbon residue built up anywhere, you just want to go through the same process. Use your Q-tip, put a little bit of solvent on there, and use your brush to clean all that stuff off. And once you knocked all the carbon, everything off of there, you don't have to make it crazy spick and span clean, but you just want to knock off the big particles and clean it up so it looks fairly nice. All right, so then we're going to take a look at the recoil spring, and you just want to inspect it again, just like everything else. If there's a ton of carbon in there, you want to just take your brush. You don't need to put solvent in this. You just take your brush and just kind of hit it, get that carbon out of there, clean it up a little bit. So then we're going to move into, basically we've done our job cleaning all the carbon and residue off of our firearm inside and out. Again, it doesn't have to be spick and span. Now that we're done with the solvent, you want to make sure you put your caps back on because you don't want to spill this stuff. It's pretty nasty. And then we're going to go move into oiling the firearm. So some manufacturers are different on where and how much oil, but the big thing to remember is less is more. That goes a long way. Like I said, when we were talking about gear, I bought these needle oilers so that it's more precise. You don't have to, it's not spewing a bunch of oil out on your firearm. It's just got this fine tip, you know, needle point. And I mean, like I said, less is more. So on the barrel, you just want to start off and get a little bit of oil on the outside of the barrel. You want to hit this lug here, and you want to hit a drop or two on each side of the barrel. Now once we have that, you just want to rub it in. It's real simple. Just want to make sure it's coated in oil. This will, you know, help prevent surface rust and keep everything relatively clean and in good working order. So that's your barrel, all cleaned up, oiled, and we'll move into the slide. So on the slide, you don't really want to put a ton of oil in here. Normally, on my pistol, I just put a little drop in here, where the top of the barrel is going to ride in here in the slide. Put a couple drops in there, and then put just maybe like 2 drops in the rail on the slide. And really that's it. You don't really want to oil anything else in the slide. So you just want to rub that in, get that coated real nice, and then just a light coat with the residue that's left on the gloves. Just kind of coat the slide and just cover that up with a little bit of oil. And again, that'll help with keeping the surface rust and everything away. So that's pretty much it for the slide. And then on the frame, you would just want to put a couple drops on where the frame interfaces with the slide. So on the Glock, it's this little lug here and these little pins up here in the frame. and there are 2 in the back here as well. So you just want to put, with this needle oil, you just put 1 little drop, and basically there's a drop on it. You just use that to spread your oil out, and a little goes a long way, like I said before. So you just want to hit that. Keep it very simple. You don't have to go crazy. As far as the recoil spring, I don't really put any oil on this. You don't really need to. It should just be good to go once you clean all the carbon off. So basically from there, we're just going to reassemble the pistol. And again, I'm just going to refer you back to your owner's manual on all that stuff. So let me get this thing back together real fast. So once you have your firearm reassembled, you just want to function check. Just like every time you field strip, you want to function check, and again, make sure there's no ammunition anywhere close. You should have gotten rid of that way before you started cleaning. So we're just going to do a little function check on the firearm. Obviously, it's a cleared firearm, so we're going to pull the trigger, make sure it resets, pull the trigger, make sure it resets, and you're pretty much done. So that is the basic operation of cleaning and maintaining a striker-fire pistol. All right, guys, that wraps up our video today on the basics of cleaning and maintaining your firearm. Be sure to check the link in the description for all the Hoppe's products that we have available on sportsmansoutdoorsuperstore.com. Also, be sure to check out all of our social media platforms for regular content updates. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.